Awesome. Welcome to Wellness Wednesday here on wherever it is that you are viewing this video or listening to this audio. Every Wednesday at 11 o'clock Australian Eastern Standard Time, Dr. Oz, Loz, and Chelsey Jean, who will be absent for today's conversation. We come to you with some interesting perspectives on how you can empower yourself to take control of your health and well-being, to live a happy and vital life. And we all have a unique perspective on all of the various topics that we discuss during these chats. So my name's Loz. I'm a healthy habit coach, a mojo mechanic, and all-round life enthusiast. I work with lots of clients on a daily basis who are high achievers, who desire to live an unstoppable life. And I teach them that they can actually be happy, healthy, confident, focused, and high-performing by unlocking their handbrake habits of eating, breathing, sleeping, moving, and hydrating. And today, I am joined by the awesome Dr. Oz, who on my side here is to my left. So I'm going to point this way.
This side.
Yeah, that's it.
Hey, hi, how are you? I'm Dr. Oz from Vitality. I'm an integrative and peak performance clinician specialized in chronic pain, chronic inflammation, and body contouring.
And we both work with lots of different types of clients, especially those who are trying to get more out of their life. And if you are in Australia, you will have noticed that it is now spring. As of a few days ago, which is very, very scary because we don't want to start using the C word. And by the C word, I mean Christmas. And we are getting closer, but if you're in Australia, what spring normally marks is that it is a lot warmer now. And for those of you playing at home, you know, maybe you've been listening to some of our chats in the past, and we've talked about some things you can do through the cooler months to help you stay a little bit activated and a little bit more motivated. But with warm weather brings lots of opportunities to start to adapt some more healthy lifestyle habits. And, you know, I think that it's a great time for people to start thinking about what it is that they want to actually be feeling like at the beginning of next year. What do you reckon, Oz?
I think, yes, this is the right time to start with it, mostly here in Australia, because when you come from a country like mine, which is Mexico, we're getting closer to winter. So start getting showers, rains and cold weather. And most people want to lose weight by the end of the year. So it makes it really difficult to lose weight in Mexico or those countries where you're in winter, or you're getting close to winter. So this is the right place to be when you want to lose weight close to Christmas, because and mostly if you're in Brisbane, in Queensland, that there's no light-saving times and the things. And 4:30 a.m. you start seeing light, and you can go and start exercising earlier and not feeling that you are really kind of cutting your sleep. So I think it's a right place to be. If you want to lose weight, this is the right time to start.
And I love that you mentioned that, because, you know, in Queensland, everyone bitches about not having daylight savings, but there's so many advantages to just going with the standard time zone, right? And so, you know, because when we're living by the sun and we're understanding what that feels like, it means that our days are longer. We can get up early, 4:30, it's the sunrise, beautiful time of day. And I always think, what better stuff to start doing when the sun is out longer and the days are getting warmer than to start looking at some ways that you can do some outdoor activity. I mean, chances are through the cooler seasons, and, you know, it has been quite cool here, and especially in the southern states of Australia, you know, it has been a little bit of a chilly winter. And so with chilly cold times bring a lot of hibernation, a lot of no exposure to sunlight. And we do need things like vitamin D for our immune system. So I always say to people, what a better time of year to start taking advantage of really nice weather by going outside, doing some outdoor activities. And you don't have to do them on your own. It's a great time to start integrating with your family. So if you are a parent, we do have kids and other family members and loved ones who you'd like to start helping to get motivated. Things like hiking, biking, jogging, or just going for a walk in the park can be really good ways to boost your mood. Or obviously it's going to improve your physical fitness, bone strength, and then you're also getting that vitamin D. Yeah.
Yeah. There are actually two things that I'm going to recommend right now. If you want to start exercising or doing some activities outdoor, as Loz is saying, you can just go and Google meetups, and you will find any kind of group that you can imagine. Like whatever you want to do outdoors, you just get meetups, and just type whatever you want, and you will find a group doing that already. Not just for this time, like for the whole year, but if you want to start now, that's a good way to do it, because then you get the motivation of more people doing things that you also like doing. That's one thing. The other thing I always recommend to all my patients when they start coming with me is, if you have your Saturdays at 7 a.m. free, there is something called Park Run, which is free. Is a lot of people at all different type of shapes that they run, walk, or crawl, if you want to. 5K, you don't have to do the 5K. There is no an obligation to do anything. There is no one that is going to be judging you, but you're going to get a lot of people doing the same thing that you want to do. So as we always say, surround yourself with people that is already doing what you want to do. So you get that extra motivation. And believe me, the few patients that have come with me to Park Run, like I don't wait for them. I run, they walk, but they see all these other people walking slower than them or walking faster than them, older people, younger people, all sorts of shapes. They get that motivation of saying, oh, if they can do it, I can do it. Yeah, and there are kids doing that. So it's a really good way to start doing something new outdoors and getting the motivation that you need. And all the people surrounded by you, or you surrounded by people that is doing this exactly the same thing as you. So that two really good things that you can start looking for.
I love that tip, Oz. Like, it's all about circles of influence, right? And, as you said, surround yourself with the people that are doing the types of things that you want to do. And this is where people get really stuck. They try and make these progressive changes in their life, but they haven't actually upgraded the circles that they hang around with. And so what tends to happen is actually, I talked about this before, a thing about the crabs in the bucket. If you have a bucket full of crabs and one crab tries to escape and he gets all the way to the top, just as he's about to get out of the bucket, all of the other crabs band together and pull that crab back into the bucket. And that's what happens when you try and make changes, but you haven't actually upgraded the people that you hang around with. So I love that idea about meetups. I mean, I've never done that before, but I think that's a really great thing that people can implement, and staying active socially as well, especially this time of the year. What we tend to find is our social activity typically starts to ramp up as we lead up to Christmas and New Year and those celebratory times. And, we do get a lot more opportunity for social gathering, and it's so great to start spending that time with your family and your friends, which is normally outdoors if you can do it. Obviously, it would depend on the weather. I think we're going to be in for a lot of storms this year, actually. And this obviously can contribute to like your overall sense of well-being. The other thing to consider, though, when we talk about that, being social, and I guess outside of those active social sessions that you were just talking about, is when we are at lots of Christmas parties and, all of the things that happen in the second half of the year, is that being really mindful about what it is that we're eating. It can be very, very easy to overindulge at this time of year. And people always have a whinge come the beginning of the next year, go, oh, shit, I overdid it again. And I've done this every year for the last 20 years, overdoing it at Christmas. And so a really great opportunity exists for you when the weather does warm up to actually start incorporating maybe more fresh fruits and vegetables into your diet. Through the winter periods, we rely on those really hearty meals, those starchy carbohydrates, stews, soups. Yep. But, when it's warmer, I think a lot of the seasonal produce tends to be a little bit lighter. So, things like salads, obviously, maybe even things like grilled vegetables, which you could have hot or cold. But I think a big reduction in sort of those really calorific, dense foods that we have in winter is a really great thing that we can start doing in summer. And even things like juicing, right?
Yeah. And I think, Roberto, we talked about this a few weeks ago when we say how people perceive food as, and
Yes.
yes, like this time of the year, with, as you say, it's Christmas, and before Christmas you have Halloween, if you want to add that one as part of the equation. Um, we use all those festivities to think about food as our social interaction with people, instead of thinking about food as our fuel or our medicine, depending how are you using the food for. So changing that mentality, I think this is the right time to do it. Again, any time is the right time to do it. Yes, because we always think, when is going to be, not, I'm going to wait until Monday, or I'm going to wait until next month, or I'm going to wait until after the wedding. Believe me, if you want to start today, you're not going to start in 1 week, you're not going to start in 2 weeks, you're not going to start in 3 weeks, because it's never going to be the right time to start doing something. I'm always asked by my patients, how long is it going to take me to get used to the diet? And say, like if we go by theory, the theory says that it takes 2 weeks for you to get used to something new. But if you go to reality, if you want to, it takes you overnight to get used to something new. It's just up to you. It's just up to you changing your vision about things. You don't need to wait 2 weeks to get used to eat healthy. You just need overnight. You just need to take the decision today and start today, not tomorrow. Today,
Right.
doing the things.
Right now, actually. And I always say nothing tastes as good as healthy feels, right? So once you start to experience what feeling healthy and vibrant and vital can be, then nothing ever tastes better than that. No sort of illusions of big burgers dripping in fat that you see being fried on a barbecue on those Hungry Jacks ads. I mean, I haven't seen one of those ads in a while, but I don't watch TV. But like nothing tastes as good as the way that you feel. So I think it's just that shift in mindset, right? And I love that you brought up the thing about how people perceive food, because you said medicine, fuel, and like a social conduit. And it is interesting. I actually do come back to what you spoke about quite a lot when I speak to people. And, when you start to have those conversations, people are like, oh my gosh, yes, I do use food as a social tool or an emotional coping mechanism or whatever it is. And so maybe, if you are really struggling with your association with food and your relationship with it, this could be a really good opportunity to start, in the warmer seasons, practicing things like mindfulness and stress reduction. Because it's getting warmer, we typically want to just move a little bit more. Thank God for climate control and things like air conditioning, obviously, in this country, because it does get quite hot. But maybe looking at doing some stress reduction activities, like meditation. You could do things like yoga, you could do deep breathing exercises, you could go swimming, any sort of thing that's going to help you get in the zone. That's obviously going to help you manage that mindset as well if you are struggling. And any other sort of physical activities, like you're getting out a bit more, not relying on your car so much, finding ways to walk or bike places. Gardening, even. Gardening is a really great stress reduction tool if you are feeling cravings or you're not really sure where your head's at and you're just going to go reach for that thing that you have been reaching for all winter, blocks of chocolate. Getting outside can be really good for you because it gets you into the moment. I love getting out in the garden personally, staying in nature. I don't know about you, but it's nice when you can plant things and it can be relaxing to plant them and watch things grow. I mean, obviously you got to water them. That can be a challenge otherwise.
Yeah, I'm not really a plant
Green
person.
thumb.
But
That's okay.
talking about those kind of activities, like if you have kids, start going out with your kids, play with them, have quality time with them, and believe me, that's going to start activating you. If you have a dog, walk your dog instead of 20, 30 minutes, walk them 1 hour and see how you feel after that. The main thing here, I think, one of the things that you have to think about is, let's say, and this is something we were talking yesterday, like the both of us, about productivity, and feeling healthier is going to help your productivity, regardless of what you do. If you have a business, if you work for someone, if you are at home, feeling better, not feeling pain, not feeling sleepy, not feeling headachy, feeling more active, exercising, and those things are going to bring more energy to your life, and that's going to increase your productivity. Like it's going to boost your productivity like 10 times, 5 times, whatever it is. And then if you do these other practices like meditation or just reducing the levels of stress in any way you can do it, that's going to improve even more your productivity. So you're going to be able to do more in less time. And then you're going to be able to go to sleep early and then wake up earlier, start your day earlier. Yeah, it's always better to start your day earlier than finish your day late. You're tired, you're exhausted, you don't think the same, you need to recover. Then you wake up and you're already refreshed and start your day. Imagine, I'm going to give my example. I wake up at 4:30 a.m. to exercise. By 7 a.m., I already exercised, I walk my dog, have my shower, I'm ready to go to work, and I have all the things for my son ready by 7 a.m. From 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., I have time to sit with my son, do his homework, finish the homework, and still have time to play with him. And still, we're talking that by 9 a.m., all the things that I have been able to achieve, and with just this amount of energy. So
pretty amazing.
Most people is just waking up or just starting, like struggling with the time, running late to things. So this is all about productivity at the end of the day. And feeling healthier is going to improve your productivity. It's going to improve your chances to get better results. It's going to improve your chances to get better mood, better relationships with your family, with your friends, with your co-workers, whatever you do. So it's something to start thinking about. Like, again, this is a good time. This is a good excuse this time of the year to start doing that. I know winter is difficult. I know when it's cold, when it's raining, it's difficult because we have that as an excuse. But now we don't have that excuse. Now you tell me it's too hot. Well, use that hot weather to make you sweat more and get all those toxins out of your body.
Totally agree. And guys, you don't have to get up at 4:30. I mean, Oz loves getting up at 4:30 because it works for him. But it's a really good reason to get up a little bit earlier. So if your normal wake up time is like 7:30, I know a lot of people who wake up at 7:30. I mean, you've already done everything by then, but but if you normally wake up at 7:30, maybe set a little goal to wake up at 7 and then start waking up at 7 and get into the pace of waking up at 7. And then maybe decide, you know what, I'm going to wake up at 6:45 or 6:30. And so progressively you can start to shift your circadian rhythm. It can be challenging if you do wake up a little bit later, but what a great tip to be able to wake up earlier, get heaps more stuff done. The daylight's there. You start your day feeling fired up, and you actually start your day having won some battles. I always say it's much better and easier to go into the battles of your day, because you know what days are like. Things can blow out, opportunities can come, problems can happen, challenges are there. But if you've woken up and you've won your morning because you've gotten up a little bit earlier, you've actually been organized, you're not running around like a blue ass fly trying to go, oh shit, I've got to do all this stuff, and then things blow out and then you have an accident and you spill something, or you know what I mean? Like, the more stressed you are, the more likely it is that more things will go wrong, because that's what stress does. It self-perpetuates, and it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So if you can just give yourself a little bit more of a buffer, half an hour, 15 minutes, whatever it is, see what that feels like. And chances are you'll want a little bit more of it. And that's a really easy way to keep that momentum going, to start shifting that wake cycle and sleep cycle to different times. Another really good thing to do, I find, during these warmer seasons is to do like some spring cleaning, which can be quite cathartic for people and feel like they're starting from a clean slate. I know a lot of people feel a little bit more motivated because the sun's a little bit warmer. You know, they are getting up earlier typically, but it is a really good opportunity to start decluttering and maybe doing like deep cleaning in your living space. You know, tidy up all the shit and the junk that you've been accumulating over the cooler months, because our environment has a really big impact on our mindset and our well-being. So if you are living in a closed off, dark, insulated space, you know, it's very hard to stay motivated, and our environment can have a massive effect on our sense of how we feel. So if you want to create a positive impact on your mental health and your mental fitness can have a chance to start thriving, sometimes getting rid of all the crap can be a really great place to start, because it is hard changing your sleep and wake times. I mean, that stuff is hard. It requires you to do it. But sometimes people find it easier to get rid of stuff, doing the old Vinnie's run, the thrift shop run, or selling things on Gumtree, or, taking things away and disposing of things that are no longer serving you. Adding a little bit more natural light into your space by opening up your windows, opening up your curtains, putting some plants inside your home. Obviously, you have to water them if you're not a green thumb. Maybe that's not you. You want some low maintenance plants, Oz. You want some desert plants.
Yeah,
You need desert. You need artificial ones. Just don't be watering those.
Because I still have to clean them, and that.
Yeah, you do. You have to dust them. You have to dust them, right? And that's another thing. Some people do suffer from allergies when the seasons change as well. So just take some consideration. If you are prone to having allergies, because obviously there's more pollens in the air, this is a really good time to maybe seek the advice of somebody that can give you some help with managing that with your immune system. Keeping your house open obviously is going to give you a little bit more exposure, but there are things you can do about allergies as well.
But you just said the thing, I want to go back to the part that you were saying of cleaning and getting things there. Highly effective people says, and most of you maybe hear about this, that the way you do one thing in life is the way you do most of the things in your life. So if your office, for example, is full of books and papers and it's all mess, it's almost sure many things that you do in life are like that. Maybe your house or your car. So if you start cleaning one thing, that's going to start giving you that mentality of, oh, well, this looks nice. This gives me space. Now I can clean this other thing. Then I can clean this other thing. And you're going to start cleaning your life in the same way. So cleaning your diet, cleaning your activities, cleaning the people that is the group of people that you are with. So cleaning is a really good, I think, advice to start with, because that's going to open the space, open your mind, open many things, so you can think clearly, be more effective, more efficient, and yeah. So I think that's a really good advice.
Yeah, I love doing a bit of a spring clean, and it doesn't have to be like a whole, oh my gosh, I'm going through the whole house and I'm going to devote every weekend for the rest of the year. It can be just something as simple as like, you know what, right, my office is really cluttered. That's a reflection of my mindset. I will start compartmentalizing the shit in my office. I mean, I have a very tidy office. I'm a very orderly person. Never used to be. Used to be a shit show. Stuff everywhere. But I have a threshold, and so it lasts about 3 days. I'll have stuff that sits on my desk that I know I need to do, and it feels really satisfying when you get the stuff done. You've moved the stuff away, you've tidied up the space, and you're right, as you said, once you start, it can become this thing where you kind of go, oh, you know what, like, now I want to try this space. I'm going to fold up my clothes. I'm going to put my drawers back in neatly. I'm going to make my bed. It is a reflection of where you're at, and it's very easy to function more effectively and efficiently and be more useful when your space is tidy.
And you mentioned something very important. Things don't have to be done all at once. Like, you don't have to change things, dramatically speaking, overnight. However, in my case, I like to bring that mentality to people, because sometimes if we try to do things, oh, I'm going to start slowly, that starting slowly sometimes make you don't even start, or get used too quickly to something and, okay, I can stay here. As I mentioned, your brain is really strong. You don't most people don't imagine how strong our brain is to take decisions and to put things in action. And that's the type of mentality I like to bring to my patients when they come here. So, look, you can change overnight. I know maybe you don't want to do it. That's a different story. But when you have a clear vision of what you want in life, it makes it more like, when you have a clear vision of what you want in life and you have your values really well defined and well established on what are your priorities, it becomes really easy to change your mind very quickly. And we do that all the time. Like, sometimes I can tell you that there are many things that you have done already, changes overnight, that you don't even notice that you have done them. I'm going to put an example. Again, I have to put my example because that's the easiest way to explain it. But as a kid, for me, for example, from being a kid of half, like in Mexico, the grades go from 5 to 10, 10 the highest, obviously. I was on a 7, 8 all the time. But when I was clear about what I wanted as a kid, because I wanted to play basketball, and my parents told me, the only way you can play basketball is if you do your homework and you get better grades. Overnight, I was top of the class because I wanted something. My vision was clear. I wanted to play basketball with the big kids. I wanted to be part of the team. And like that, you want to stop something. Like, you don't have to wait until something bad happened to start doing the change. Like, you can do the change if you get a clear vision of how you see yourself in the next year, in the next 2 years, in the next 3 years. It's up to you. But have a clear vision. And believe me, that clear vision is going to give you the reason why you want to change that today. Not tomorrow, not in 3 days, not in 1 year, today. And there are things like, even I have patients that they really want to stop drinking or smoking, and they do it overnight without using patches, without doing this, just because they have a clear vision. Once they get a clear vision, boom, they can change. So yes, you can go slowly, but if you get a clear vision, you can go much, much faster than that.
It's like ripping the Band-Aid off. Just rip it off, because it's not gonna be any easier if you do it slowly. And I totally agree. And like you, I'm a person that just goes, oh yeah, cool, that's it. We had a conversation about vegetable intake yesterday, so that's where I've been all morning. It's like, cool. I went out straight after our chat yesterday because I want to eat 8 serves of vegetables, not just 5. So, I went straight from where I was with you, and I bought myself some organic frozen spinach and some organic things to put into a smoothie this morning. And then I just took the action and I did it overnight. So, and it is that decision to go, right, nothing tastes as good as healthy feels. I want to feel really vibrant again, and making that decision and pulling the Band-Aid off. But you've got to find whatever works for you. And sometimes try something that you haven't tried before. If you are the kind of person that goes slow, try going all in. If you are the person that goes all in all the time and then constantly fails because you feel like you've just overwhelmed yourself because you're managing 5 kids and 2 businesses and a FIFO husband, that's okay as well. Find what works. But guys, commit to being unstoppable. Commit to living the life you want. Create the vision. Have the targets. Set the goals and have the milestones. It doesn't really matter how audacious and hairy and scary your goals are. Summer, spring, winter, autumn, it doesn't actually matter. But maybe use this as an opportunity for change. Maybe use this conversation that we've had today as maybe a starting point to start shifting your perspective. I mean, both Oz and I have, we have our challenges. We've had to overcome certain challenges in our life, and it doesn't mean that there won't be more. But sometimes the seasons can be a really great place for you to start considering what your life could look like. And if you are here, but you want to be here and you're not really sure what's getting in your way, maybe come and have a chat. Oz and I work together. We work with people that want to become high performers, that are on their way to achieving great things. And this is what we do for a living. We work with people like you guys to unlock things using different tools, different mechanisms, different frameworks, helping you ask better questions and question everything. But if you are watching this in the future and we come to you from the past, please put a hashtag replay so that we know that you've watched it and you've learned something. And please share some comments if you are on social media or whatever platform it is that you're watching or engaging with this. We always love comments. Don't be scared to comment. People go and watch shit and then never freaking comment. It's actually, you can comment. You can be like, that was cool. Thumbs up is even good. Or, can you talk about this next week? But we're always open to your ideas. If you've got some questions that you'd like us to answer or some topics you'd like us to discuss, Chelsey is probably joining us again next week. Please feel free to flick us a DM, put a comment there, and we will talk about the thing. But it's always a pleasure coming to you live. Do you have any other closing remarks, Oz? You good?
Enjoy.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for hanging out. I'm Loz. That is Dr. Oz. And we'll be back same time, same place next week here on socials. Thank you very, very much for hanging out, and ciao for now.
You